Hi, my name is Wes Overton, and today we're going to preview rational number exponents. So this lesson comes from a blog post from Michael Fenton. Michael is actually on the teaching faculty of Desmos.com currently, although this was written before he took that position. But it's an interesting take on rational number exponents. It's real intuitive for students. It is not the way probably most of us were taught, but it does click very well to students. They can usually complete this pretty quick once they get the hang of it. So what we're going to start is asking students to explain the meaning of 2 to the third power. Now most students will say, well, that's just 2 times itself 3 times. So then you could write on the board, okay, so you told me 2 times itself 3 times. And at that point, students are like, no, that doesn't work. So we need a better way to represent the meaning of 2 to the third power. So then we could introduce that as 3 factors of 2. So now there's no misinterpreting that this is 3 factors of 2. So then that kind of brings us to our next question. What would 25 to the 1/2 power mean? Well, if 2 to the third power means 3 factors of 2, 25 to the 1/2 factor must mean half a factor of 25. So what would half a factor look like? Well, if we looked at a whole factor, that could be 2 out of 2, so 5 times 5 would be 25. Well, half a factor tells us we just want one of those 2 factors. So half a factor of 25 must be 5. So once you kind of explain this to students, they can kind of get the hang of it. So 125 to the 1/3 power, well, if we were looking at the 3/3 power, that would be 5 times 5 times 5. We just want one out of these 3 factors, so that would be 5. It works for other fractions where the numerator is not always 1. So 8 to the 2/3 power, if we looked at 8 to the 3/3 power, that would be 2 times 2 times 2. Out of these 3 factors, we just want 2 out of the 3, so that would be 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. So most of the time, students catch on pretty quick, and they can work through this activity, at least the first 9 questions, pretty easily. And then we're going to look at how to write this as fractions. So a lot of students will also notice that the square root of 25 was 5, which was the same thing as 25 to the 1/2 power. Because there was 2 factors, we wanted 1 out of the 2. And then students will continue on. So the cube root must mean x to the 1/3. Here's where the properties of exponents. Some students can jump straight to x to the 2/3. Some of them will write it like this, x squared raised to the 1/3 power. And then we can build on the previous experience with exponent rules and see that's power to a power, so we could multiply those, and those would be x to the 2/3. So with Algebra 1, with probability, there are 2 content standards dealing with rational number exponents. This lesson hits both these, so we are rewriting expressions involving radicals and rational exponent using the property. So that's what we did down at the end, and we're explaining the meaning of rational number exponents. And this also builds on what they have done in 8th grade when they looked at exponent rules with numerical expressions. So this has been a preview of the rational number exponents lesson.